You think Lindsay is doing since?
What?
Oh, how do you think she's doing since the court date? So far, so good, but it's early.
Yeah. Who do you guys hang out with the most from the office? I don't really hang out with anyone either.
We're with each other. We are with each other so much. Although the weirdest thing, it is true that there's like a big group of people that go out partying on Friday nights here.
I live in the OC, so I go home. I go back home.
There are so many. I mean, and they go out partying, and then
Plus,
everybody.
I was on the phone with Charles at 10 o'clock at night, and then again at like 4:30. So I'm like, and then I got to hang out all day.
Yeah, we are like with each other way too.
I see Charles in the hood, but we live in the same area.
You guys, well, that's the difference. You guys live near each other.
Charles, I run into him.
Yeah, you just walk
At
around.
the bar. John always buys me beers. It's great.
Matt lives the life. Matt lives.
Matt,
That's
Did
Max.
I say Matt? I meant Max.
Charlie Matt.
Oops, sorry. Max does live the life. Just
All right.
cruises around the beach.
He does. Do we have more questions?
Okay, who's going to write that? Hey, is Evan here? Okay.
I don't have any more questions.
Sharon Tate and
Manson murders. Is that it? No?
I think that's it. I
Like
think.
Greg King?
Yeah, I think that's it. What year? What's the copyright on that?
I don't have more questions. Is the oil gonna spill affect you guys in LA? I think.
How, what year? Yeah, I think that's the book. Put it up again, Manny. I think that's the book. If you want to know the book, I'm telling you guys, and even if you don't know anything about it, it's just so interesting. And the Beach Boys are involved in this, and Candice Bergen.
Well, that's why I said, like, I had no idea about a lot of it because I wasn't around for it.
Oh, it's such a story.
You just start reading it, and every aspect of all these murders and the way they calculated everything out, you just can't put you can't put books down. You can put articles down on this whole thing.
And I should say that I don't want to slight Vincent Bugliosi's book. Vincent Bugliosi was the prosecutor, and he wrote an unbelievable book called Helter Skelter, which is the Bible of the Manson murders. And Helter Skelter was made into a movie. A fabulous book, amazing book. And I loved it. I loved the book. There was something about this Sharon Tate book, though. I'm telling you, it's just because it's so interesting because it gives like a little of her life and then a little of his life, and it's how they intersected and it exploded. And they didn't know each other, but you're reading, okay, she's doing this, and now he was doing this, and she's doing this, and he was doing this. That's Helter Skelter.
Is there any other murders that you are fascinated with? Oh, I know OJ, because I know you're.
I mean, I covered it.
Super into
OJ.
Obviously,
the one I was most was the Kennedy assassination. I mean, I was obsessed with the Kennedy assassination when I was a kid. I mean, when I was in
the grassy knoll, counting down the.
I actually was talking to Jim Garrison, who was the DA who prosecuted a guy named Clay Shaw, which was the only prosecution ever for the Kennedy assassination. And because I thought he was involved with Oswald, and Clay Shaw was found not guilty. But I was so obsessed with it, and I had read all 23 volumes of the Warren Commission report at the library, and I developed a theory on how many bullets there were, and I called Jim Garrison from a payphone near my parents'.
Well, didn't you start off like like an investigation or something even more because you called him directly?
I called him from a paid phone booth because if my mom found out, she would have killed me. Because she thought I was crazy to get involved in this thing. So I called Jim Garrison collect, actually, and it was to a Mr. Jim Garrison from a Mr. Informant who has significant information. That was my name.
And he picked up.
And they put him through. And then I would call him. I talked to him like 6 times. My mom found out. She went.
Wait, what was the part where you said you like counted out the frames?
Holes. It was the holes in the. There's a wall next to the grassy knoll where Abraham Zapruder were shooting. And it was across the street from the grassy knoll. And there's a wall, and there are holes in the wall, like holes in the brick wall. And so if you look at frame 313, which is where the fatal shot...
I love that you actually still know this.
The fatal shot was at 313. What you see is that the camera, it takes like 4 frames for Zapruder to react because there's a reaction time. And then all of a sudden, the camera clearly shook because you see the holes in the wall blur.
Yeah.
And it's very discernible. And then when you look back at the other 2 shots that were fired, you can see that were fired. You can see the same blurs. and you know, where right after the shots. So my theory was, I started looking at these holes in the wall, and and everybody, the Warren Commission, everybody said the maximum Oswald could have gotten off was 3 shots. There's no way he could have gotten off more than 3 shots. It was less than 6 seconds. An expert gunman, and he wasn't necessarily an expert, even though some say he was, an expert gunman could get 3 shots off in those 6 seconds. And one of the shots missed, according to the Warren Commission. One hit Kennedy in the neck, went through his throat, then went through Governor Connolly's back, chest, arm, leg, and that bullet was supposedly okay, which is kind of weird. And because they found the bullet and it wasn't severely damaged, which is bizarre.
Considering it's gone through all that.
The bullet should be mangled. And the third bullet was the one they say that blew up his head. And so that would be the maximum. If there were any other shots, Oswald couldn't have acted alone. So I counted definitely 4 and possibly 5 of those holes in the wall that you could calibrate that were kind of consistent with all of this. And if that's true, if there were even 4, and if you look at the holes, that would show 4, there's no way Oswald could have done it alone. So that's when I started calling Garrison.
Your memory is amazing to me. The things that this guy can remember.
I can't remember what I ate for lunch.
No, you can sit here, we'll be in the morning meeting and be like, I remember a video that we had 3 years ago of Heidi jumping on a trampoline. I'm like, how in God's name do you remember some of this?
No, but I swear, then I literally won't remember what I ate for lunch.
Here, let me have some papers. I don't have any questions.
We're done.
That's it.
Do we know if Shannon Price now stands to receive any insurance money? We don't think so. Did Spencer really admit that his marriage to Heidi wasn't real?
I don't think he's admitted. I think it's just obvious at this point.
Oh, God. I mean, come on. Harvey, how did O.J. avoid being convicted of murder? It's a little bit of an involved question.
That might take a little while.
Well, but I will give you 2 words that can answer it in the short form.
Great lawyer?
Johnny Cochran. Same thing. Lindsay staying in her apartment, or is she staying with friends? She stayed with friends this weekend.
Staying with friends. Yeah, well, she was trying to get away from everything, wasn't she? Isn't that why she went down to Malibu, so she would get away from that circle she was running in, the kind of bad influence?
Yeah. Well, that's what they say. That's what and we'll see. What do you make of the latest Urine Vandersloot case? Whoa. I mean, I got
second girl. This is beyond creepy now.
I mean, all I'm wondering is, if this is true, how many have there been?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, I really did think about this yesterday. It's like, if this is true, and if he got away with Natalie Holloway, it's like, this guy should be thinking, I just literally got away with murder. I am going to be on the straight and narrow for the rest of my life. But if he did it again, then how many times has he done it where he didn't get caught?
And the question is, they have him right now, correct?
He's in custody.
They've got him, and then are they going to extradite
in
him?
Peru. Well, he can absolutely be. Well, no, he's in Peru right now. I thought he's in Chile.
Chile?
Huh? Chile. He's in Chile.
Will they extradite
no,
him to Peru?
he can be extradited. But my God, what an amazing story! What an amazing story! I mean, I heard that and I thought, this has got to be this can't be true.
Well, I mean, I think there's a lot of instances where people get away with it the first time and then maybe the second time not so lucky.
Or maybe this is the 6th time.
Sure.
And he got away with 4 and didn't get away with 2. And got away with one of those 2 anyway.
Caught for 2.
Yeah, but my God. Shocking story.
Yeah.
Okay.
right.
Is that it?
Are we done?
Yeah.
Do I need to say this again, that we're sponsored by Boyore skincare products?
You just did. And that really removes zits, huh? I think I'm going to get me one of them.